Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sports Coaster. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Sports Coaster. We have so much to be talking about in today's episode. DeRozan had a big game. Kristaps Porzingis' offensive struggles have been continuing, as well as Stephen Curry's game winner in Dallas. Anyway, without further ado, it is currently Thursday, January 4th, 2018. Let's get going, ladies and gentlemen.
They do have a timeout. The side not to use it. Curry way downtown. Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! We just
The Houston Rockets came up against the Orlando Magic, and well, this one was never in doubt. The Houston Rockets took this one by ease. They never trailed and led by as many as 28 in their 116-98 win over the Orlando Magic. The Houston Rockets are still one of only two teams in the NBA to not have 10 losses. Their record stands at an incredible 27-9. Leading the scoring for the Houston Rockets was not any of the starters. It was actually Gerald Green coming off the bench. A sixth man put up 27 points in 27 minutes. That's pretty sick. I mean, honestly, if you ask me. Clint Capella as well had a solid 21 points in 23 minutes, and Eric Gordon and Ryan Anderson both put up 17 points. Chris Paul had a solid 13 assists, 17 rebounds, and a point. As for the Orlando Magic side of the ball, I'm just going to say Aaron Gordon had a really sick reverse dunk, and he finished off the game with 16 points and 8 rebounds. Alfred Payton had 14 points, and off the bench, Aaron Aflalo also had 14 points. Solid stats for them in the Houston Rockets win. John Wall and Bradley Beal both had monster games in the Washington Wizards' 121-103 win over the New York Knicks. They combined for 52 points and 15 assists, while John Wall did have 9 assists as well as 35 points, and Bradley Beal had 27 points and 6 assists. As far as the New York Knicks, Kristaps Porzingis' offensive struggles continued as he played 35 minutes and only scored 16 points on 5 of 13 shooting from the field for 38%. He was 1 of 4 from three-point line as he only shot 25% from down there. Doug McDermott, Jared Jack put up 10 points, and if you go deep into the bench, Michael Beasley had a solid 20 points off 25 minutes and grabbed 9 rebounds as well. Washington, well, they kind of dominated this game. It was kind of obvious who was going to win going into this game, as Washington Wizards, well, they're much more well-rounded team. Markieff Morris and Otto Porter Jr. both played very well there at core, but Markieff Morris did have 11 points and 11 rebounds for a nice solid double-double. Washington now up to 22-16 in the season, while the New York Knicks have a losing record, 2 games under 500. They're at 18-20. The Miami Heat might be one of the most underrated teams in the NBA, in my opinion. Their 111-104 win over the Detroit Pistons has improved their schedule up to 20-17, and they're currently sitting at 7th in the Eastern Conference. Quite solid. I don't know. I just thought I'd kind of throw that in here before we get into the game analysis. Speaking of the game, Hassan Whiteside had solid 10 points, but Miami was really led by Kelly Olynyk, 25 points and 13 rebounds. Goran Dragic as well at point guard put up 24 points and 13 assists, as well as grabbed 5 rebounds. He was really good. He shot almost 50% from the field and hit 3 3-pointers. Josh Richardson, 22 points and 5 assists. This was really a close game, as the biggest lead of the game was only 9 points. That was by the Miami Heat. Tobias Harris for the Detroit Pistons, Avery Bradley, Boban Marjanovic, and Reggie Bullock all had over 15 points. Tobias Harris did put up 19 points and was Detroit's game high in points. Dwight Bukes and Luke Kennard off the bench both had a really solid performance, as Luke Kennard did put up 13 points and Dwight put up 14. The Detroit Pistons are down now to 20-16, while the Miami Heat, as I've already mentioned, are 20-17. Ben Simmons put up 26 points in 33 minutes in the 76ers 112-106 win over the San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio was, however, resting some of their starters, such as Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Kawhi Leonard. Rudy Gay was out with an injury. As for San Antonio, Patty Mills took the charge at the sixth man. He put up 26 points off 4 of 11 from downtown and 7 of 17 from the field in 28 minutes. LaMarcus Aldridge as well poured in 24 points and grabbed himself 14 rebounds. Philadelphia's Joel Embiid, of course, carried a lot of the load offensively as he put up 21 points and 11 rebounds. Philadelphia snapped a 12-game losing streak against San Antonio with this win. Jimmy Butler has been proving game after game why he should be voted into this year's All-Star game. He put up 30 points in 38 minutes last night in a 1-point loss to the Brooklyn Nets. Spencer Dinwiddie put up the game winner with about 8 seconds left on the clock to cap off his amazing 26-point game in his 36 minutes. He also did record 9 assists, and he shot an amazing 64%, going 9 of 14 from the field. Even more impressive, 4 of 7 from downtown. And Joe Harris was strong off the bench as he did put up 17 points. As again, for the Minnesota side of the ball, we already did talk about Jimmy Butler, but Karl-Anthony Towns did play an amazing 40 minutes and did record a double-double with 16 points and 10 rebounds. The Timberwolves are now 24-15 after this loss, and they are currently sitting at 4th place in the Western Conference. As for the Brooklyn Nets, they are now up to 15-23. Before we start talking about that Cleveland versus Celtics game, we got one more game to be talking about, guys. Don't worry. The Toronto Raptors took down the Chicago Bulls yesterday, 124-115. Toronto now improves the record at 26-10, as they have been probably one of the most underrated teams this year. I've been loving their team, and especially DeMar DeRozan. He put up 35 points in 33 minutes last night. He also did have 3 steals and 6 assists. He shot 5 of 8 from downtown and 10 of 20 from the field. Kyle Lowry as well put in 16 points. He and Serge Ibaka both had that tally. Kyle Lowry he kind of struggled, shooting 35% from the field and only 28% from downtown. But on the other side, Serge Ibaka did have a 7 of 12 from the field, going 60%. As for the Chicago side of the ball, Denzel Valentine and Lauri Markkanen both had impressive games as rookies. Denzel Valentine put up 14 points, and Lauri Markkanen poured in 22, going 2 of 8 from downtown, kind of struggling, and grabbing 12 rebounds. Justin Holiday led the Chicago Bulls in scoring as he put up 26 points in 38 minutes, and off the bench, Jerry Grant put up 11 points in 19 minutes. Isaiah Thomas did not play in this game against the Boston Celtics, as he had to watch on the sideline as his team got beat up by Boston 102-88. Boston's has now improved the record of 31-10, while Cleveland falls to 25-13. LeBron James started to struggle in the second half, shooting 8 of 15 in the game and finishing off with 19 points in 32 minutes. On the Boston side of the ball, there was no one player who stood out really. Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum both put up 15 points, and Terry Rozier on the bench had a shot 4 from 6 from downtown and put up 20 points in his 19 minutes he played. He also had a pretty clutch buzzer beater at the end of the first quarter, I think it was. Jay Crowder, J.R. Smith had decent games as well, and Tristan Thompson, Jeff Green coming off the bench. Again, I'll mention Jeff Green. He is probably one of the most underrated players in the NBA. He's a beast coming off the bench. I say it every single time. He's a beast, put up 13 points in his 26 minutes. But yeah, other than that, there wasn't really that much to be talking about. Kyrie Irving didn't play that well. He did shoot 5 of 14 from the field and 0 of 5 from downtown for only 11 points, 6 assists as well, but he shot pretty poorly. Alright, so just briefly touching on some of these games, the Indiana Pacers fell to the Bucks 121-101. Indiana now, that brings the record down to 19-19. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton both had big games points-wise. Giannis put up 31 in 29 minutes, and Chris Middleton did put up 27 points. On the Indiana side of the ball, they were led by Demarius Sabonis' 24 points and Darren Collins' 17 points. They were playing without Victor Oladipo, so that's one of the bigger reasons why they lost today's game. The Nuggets beat the Suns. Well, they didn't just beat them, they blew them out of the stadium 134-111. Nikola Jokic had a really big game, putting up 14 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. Don't forget about those 2 steals. And speaking of Nikola Jokic, you guys are watching the highlights right now, and pretty much every single highlight involved some sort of Nikola Jokic pass, whether it be a full court pass or a no-look pass or behind the back pass. Nikola Jokic, he can pass the basketball amazingly well and probably one of the most underrated parts of his game. Marquise Chris put up 16 points and Greg Monroe as well put up 16 points, as Devin Booker kind of struggled. He did shoot 2 of 7 from beyond and 4 of 13 from the field in this loss. The Pelicans took on the Utah Jazz and the final score was 108-98 for the Pelicans. Anthony Davis definitely did outshine DeMarcus Cousins in this game, as AD put up 29 points and 15 rebounds to DeMarcus Cousins' 19 and 11. Although Anthony Davis did play 9 more minutes, Rondo only needed 15 minutes to put up 12 points and 3 assists. As for the Utah side of the ball, Donovan Mitchell did put up 24 points as he led his team in scoring. Derek Favors also had 11 points and 9 rebounds in the Jazz loss. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the last game of the day, the OKC Thunder against the Los Angeles Lakers. The Thunder blew out LA on their home court 133-96, and Russell Westbrook, Terrence Ferguson, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George all had over 20 points. As PG put up 24 points, Carmelo Anthony put up 21, Terrence Ferguson put up 24, and Russell Westbrook had 20 points and 12 assists, as well as 6 rebounds. The Lakers were playing once again without Lonzo Ball, so they had to rely mainly on Kyle Kuzma's 18 points and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope's 12. Jordan Clarkson was solid off the bench, as he did get 2 3-pointers off 8 attempts and scored 11 points. Corey Brewer as well had a solid 10. He and Brook Lopez both had that number. And the Lakers lost to the OKC Thunder, and I think the Thunder are really starting to pick it up now, and they're starting to look like a good serious threat and a contender in the Western Conference. Are they for real? Y'all let me know, because the way they started the season doesn't make me want to believe just yet that the Oklahoma City Thunder are 100% for real. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was your last game of the day. OKC over the Lakers. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to our player of the day. And for today's game, it's got to be DeMar DeRozan of the Toronto Raptors. He did win it, I think it was 2 episodes ago, but nevertheless, DeMar DeRozan's 35 points in 34 minutes is well deserving of player of the day. On top of his 35 points, he put up 6 assists and 3 rebounds, and shot 10 of 20 from the field, 10 of 10 from the free throw line, and an incredible 5 of 8 from the 3-point line. On top of that, his team did dominate the Chicago Bulls in a 124-115 victory. So, with all those reasons, that's why DeMar DeRozan, ladies and gentlemen, is your player of the day. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to the entire show and watching the entire video here on YouTube. I appreciate you stopping by, and I hope that you go down below and click that like button if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, that's that big red button down below. And our Instagram account is in the description box below this video. Go click that and give us a quick follow. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's show. We will see you tomorrow.